Hello, how are you doing? Today we're doing some job quests. Starting off with Rogue. Rogue. And yeah, here we go. I already bought all the goat skins and the dagger. Been practicing your dance steps, yo, because we're about ready to run rings around Captain Malila and her squads. The yellow, the yellow jackets been pressing their investigations into the treasures. What was Cloyd from Maelstrom Tub, but we've got our own network of codes. What don't miss not on the going ons about town. As for the sharp end of the job, it'll be you, me, Underfoot, and the Stray. Let's get down to business, eh? The cave's late to the feast, so I'll just make sure we're all on the same page for now. When you get down to it, we have two goals for this job. Bite back them treasures and mail the coast that cloyed them in the first place. You can be sure that Yellow Jacket's screw will be doing her demands, damnedest to beat us to the marks. And seeing how the fate of the guild's at stake, we best not drag our due beaters on this one. I say we gobble the baubles afore she's even lifted anchor and give her every proper reason to rage against us rogues. You seem awfully keen on this contest all of a sudden, Jack. Aye, well here's the thing. I sent my grievances to the Thalaocracy regarding the Shrew's challenge. But them paper shufflers don't care a whit as long as one of us gets the job done. So I figured I'd sail with the wind rather than against it. Besides, we wouldn't want to shirk our duties and force poor Captain Malila to blunder about this in the scary darklands now, would we? How very gentlemanly of ye. Well, them's the cards what we've been dealt on, ain't they? Now stow your quips and let's hear what you learned about them bloody treasures already. Aye, the treasures. According to the manifesto, the Maelstrom Vestal, we're looking at to bite back the Cerulean Star, the Silver Arrows, and something called the Black Sarcophagus. Aside from the fancy names, I was able to wiggle a few more details. The Cerulean Star, for starters, is a big old blue diamond what shines like, well, like a star, I suppose. Then we got the Silver Arrows, a pair of earrings that once granted the waddles of a sultana of Volda. There's a tale there, but one what don't concern us at present. Lastly, this black sarcophagus thing, I'm afraid that one remained a mystery no matter how much I poked and prodded. In any case, all three of those trinkets was reported as spoils from the official privateering raids. Now, as you know, a pirate usually sells his plunder through a reliable fence. Sometimes, though, holding an auction is the only way to offload goods. What is too extravagant, or just too bleeding rare for the average coal to deal in. Our three wondrous treasures fell into the auction-only category. The bidding began in Alport. The Thalaocracy weighed in with its ample purse, made some unmatchable offers, then organized a tub for the merchandise to be shipped back to Limsa. And that's when our marks swooped in and picked their transport clean. I had a few wild winds with them maelstrom sailors as survived the attack, and they pointed the finger at the grinning curs. Problem is, not one calls seen hide nor hair of the curs, not to mention their bloody ship since the raid. Sorry I'm late, Jake, but you want to hear this. Some of the cargo was cloyed from that transport was just found during a routine inspection at the La Thagrin checkpoint. La Thagrin, had the curse made landfall then? And what are the treasures? Any mention of them? Not that I've heard, but the jackets ain't done shaking out of all the boxes yet. Then we better get our eyes out there, quick like. Yo, Underfoot, you're fresh for a run, ain't ye? Come on, lass. I'll race you out to the checkpoint. Okay. You've heard of the Grinning Curs. They're a pack of rabid buccaneers what used to belong to the Salt Hounds. Back in the day, the Salt Hounds had a crew to fill more than a few ships. There was no other pirate gang what could match them when it came to sheer numbers. But when the Admiral came to power and passed their famous law, most of the hounds chose a life on land. And those what spat on the law became the curs. Simple as that. I want a race. You owe me a pint, yo. Japes aside, though, it looks like ffxiv was right about the cargo. From what I've been able to catch from them swads at the gate, it seems a peddler was boned for carrying goods what was known to be aboard that transport. They carted the poor sod away in chains, but the cargo itself is still here. Saw a pair of jackets carrying boxes up the wooden ramp. We need to know what is in them crates. I get the feeling they won't open their cans for asking, though. Not while this fool's challenge is going on. Do you think you could sulk over there and see if they found them treasures yet? A couple of yellow jackets are rifling through the cargo up right there. Sneaking in as close as you can a little. the maelstrom overrun, it fails to the Yellow Jackets to hold down the fortifications. Okay. Aha. Oh, that's funny. I just walk a little faster when I'm invisible. Two Yellow Jacket soldiers are inspecting the seized cargo. Approach them while cloaked with your hide ability and attempt to listen on their progress. The Yellow Jackets are discussing the contents of the crates. This is all junk. No diamonds, no rings, and no bloody black sarcophagus. Looks like we'll have to lean hard on that skinny peddler if we're to find them treasures. The sergeant says the merchant's still pleading ignorance. Claim he was hired to carry the goods through the checkpoint and not else. What a pile of pugil shite. I'm guessing the pirates split the cargo and are trying their luck at every checkpoint. Captain Malila's already given orders to double the guard and inspect every cart and wagon what comes through. Say, they found not of value, eh? Bene. Though we'd lost the contest before we'd even properly started. Be that as it may, something don't add up here. Why would you order a coal to carry the goods through the checkpoint? No smugglers that draft, surely. And even if by some miracle all the goods you swarmed through La Thagrin without raising a fuss, why would you risk taking merchandise back to the city? What ye cloyed it from? No, there's a bigger picture here, and we need to take a step back to see it. Assuming the Curs hired the peddler to do their dirty work, there'll be someone in the shadows as brokered the deal, and I just happen to know a cove that what makes it his business to oversee these kinds of shady arrangements. The thing is, this black market bloke changes his haunt depending on how the breeze blows. Quite literally, in fact. I seem to recall the navigator's bell being shifted by a westerly this morning, so that put him at Thriller's Rest. Nice and close. Why don't we go ask him a few questions before we head back to the guild? Can't be invisible on a mount. Good to know. I pride myself on my memory for faces, but yours is unknown to me. Are you an earnest customer or an inquisitive annoyance? I must be sure of your intentions. Ahaha. The dance is so old, but the name is new. Put away your daggers, rogue. I have peddled my wares to your kind since the upright thieves stalked the night. Speak, what would you have of this humble merchant? Still tormenting the cults, eh, Granddad? You come for information on a smuggling job. There was this peddler what was caught at the Lathabrian checkpoint moving merchandise from the grinning curs. Pleaded innocence even when he had the screws put to him. You wouldn't know aught about that deal, would you? Every last sordid detail, not a single grain of stolen sand passes through the shadows without my knowledge. But such prickly wisdom lodges tightly in one's throat. What have you brought to ease the pain of its passage? Spare me the theatrics, Grandad. Here's your usual purse. The sum is paid. The deal is made. May my answers state your fickle hunger. Your hapless peddler was indeed innocent. He was but a beast of burden employed by associates of the grinning curs, and likely knew not of his fright-tainted nature. A pawn, if you will, a convenient decoy. There are those amongst my acquaintances who specialize in providing such services. Aye, that's what I thought. The curs wanted the coal to get caught, and now the jackets have had a taste. They'll waste their time yaffling every shite pie what comes through their checkpoints. Meanwhile, the real treasures are hidden away in the dark man's, along with the grinning curs. Not the dark man's, Master Rogue. The mist. Aside from the traveling merchant, the curse associates have spent coin on another piece for this little game. A navigator, one who is practiced in piloting vessel through the Doxies pool. The Doxies? The gods only knows how many ships sailed into that fog soup never to come out again. That's where you say the curse have gone to ground. Now there's a trick what took some bullocks. Once their hunted tub was sitting dimmer in the mist, though it would have been easy to have these associates of theirs ferry the junk goods to Lanoska. Then the canny coast just needed to wait for the peddler to get bored and draw the glazes of the yellow jackets inland. We need to strike now. As soon as they learn the coast is clear, they'll flee for open waters. A fair appraisal of events. Now that you know the location of your marks, however, it will not be so difficult to track them down. The Doxies pool was once an impenetrable shroud, but ever since the calamity, the mists are far less constant. Narrow your search to the heaviest banks, and you will soon uncover those who wish to remain unseen. But now, a warning. The mist can steal other daggers besides the dogs you seek. A careless step may land you upon the chopping block. The chopping block? You can't mean... Seems like I find myself another lead to look into. You hurry back to Jake to tell him what we've learned so far. Hey, I'm still invisible. About time, lass. You was gone so long I almost sent the stray after ye. What happened to Underfoot? So our marks and their biting, bitten baubles are snug inside the Doxy's pool, eh? I'll not discount the old man's warning, but we may not have been our chance to crash the curs and grabble them treasures. We board the ship right now. You, me, and Vikeb. I suppose we'll be needing ourselves a tub for the voyage. I'll have wind with Star Knit and see what the dry docks can spare us by way of a ship and a reliable crew. Get your kit together and meet us there. Yeah. Alright, yo. I pulled in some favors and there's a crew what'll get us close enough to scamper aboard the Cur's vessel. It'll be cramped up on that deck. If we try to mill the whole lot at once, we'll soon find ourselves up against the rails. So we gotta go in quick and quiet and try to knock them off for a few at a time. Well, Les, are you eager to test your sea legs? Jackal, I found me one of them treasures. Unless there's another fist-sized blue diamond on board, it's gotta be the cerulean star. As for the other two baubles, I've tossed the captains and been cabins and been through the hold by elm, but there's not else there. Well, well, just have we'll we'll just have to ask the sweet like blah. Well, we'll just have to ask all sweet like, won't we? Spit it out, cur. Where are you keeping the rest of your treasures? Huh? You think I'd spill my guts for the likes of you, rogue? Maybe you wouldn't at that, but what about this partner you're working with? Audi, we don't need no partner. Oh, hold on one sec. Sorry, I had to do some adulting. Audia, you don't need no partner. We don't need no partner. So you're telling me this was all your own idea? You woke up one day and decided you'd attack the Maelstrom transport off the coast of Aleport, then disappear into the loving embrace of the Doxy's pool. Not exactly your style, is it? The grinning curs are too bleeding famous for being the crew what turned down their snouts at the privateering in favor of keeping to the old ways. You've only escaped the Yellow Jacket's grip this long by crawling on your bellies and scratching scraps what fell from the table. You ain't the type to sink your teeth into a Navy-owned vessel, no matter the price. Aye, well, maybe there ain't no profit in being cautious no more. The age of pirates is swift coming to an end. Railroad won't be stopped, not by a piddling little crew like mine. That's why we've thrown our lot in with the executioners. That blue rock was just our share of the loot. The scraps from the table, like you said, if you want them other trinkets, then you'll have to take it up with our new mates. One job at a time, lass. First we need to get these stinking coals and their tub back to the docks. Piss on your face for taking our ship. Should have set her on fire while I still had the chance. The job just got proper thorny, but at least we've grabbed one of them damn treasures. Putting aside the issue of who gave the orders, there's no doubt these was the coves as raided the Maelstrom ship. Now for a punishment what fits the crime. I was informed that a certain well-known pirate ship was spotted weighing anchor at the Morby docks. I assume that was your work? Aye, you missed all the excitement, Captain, but never ye mind. The cerulean star is back and Bob in our sneaky little frambles. Huh. And these must be the grinning curs. Degenerate fiends, how dare you ply your filthy trade in Lamonzian waters? How many innocent sailors were massacred that you might state your vile avarice? Every one of your kind ought to be lined up and shot. A musket ball is the only answer for this rampant display of lawlessness. Wait. Do you mean to just execute him here on the bloody docks? At least take the butlers into custody first. Handing them over to ye for lawful punishment satisfy the demands of the code just as well. We've already got the answers to our questions, so feel free to take them away. Do not presume to give me orders, rogue. You only managed to capture these villains and their ill-gotten treasure by employing unsavory and unconscionable means. Why, you're not more than pirates yourselves. These bastards ain't worth a true pirate's spit. The Upright Thieves was formed to protect us from ourselves. Now they're just hunting dogs for the admirable. Merrow yanks the leash and another buccaneer appears. You rogues are traitors to your own kind. If it hadn't been for you, go on then, blame me and Mikos for your own failures. You knew you was about what ye was about when ye defied the code. You knew that we'd be after ye. We're done here. There are still 2 treasures left, rogue, and I mean to claim them both. I'd reconsider this contest of yours, Captain. Turns out the fish we're trying to hook is a shark, and it might just swallow you whole. Whole. What shark is he speaking of, and how could any pirate challenge the might of the Yellow Jackets? No, he speaks but to unnerve me. I'll unring the truth from these grinning curs, and we'll see who triumphs over whom. You think this is over? The pirates will have their day again. Where is... Man, I like being invisible. Hey, can't run though. Been a work on the ship, yo. First blood is ours. How'd you take to fighting at sea? There are a few as can drop an opponent as quick as a rogue, but mind you don't exhaust yourself just flailing your blades at through the tougher coves. And that goes double for when you've mates on your flanks. If you notice yourself starting to flag, there's not wrong with pulling back from time to time and staggering your attacks with each other to keep the pressure on. I said it before last, but I'll need you be sharp enough to curse steel for what's to come. I'm afraid this will be more of a challenge than even what that little shrew was bargaining for. That's assuming the curse wasn't lying about the executioners, and the executioners are who I bloody think they are. Twixt you and me, though, I'm hoping the name is just some laughable coincidence. Okay. Pause the video. Okay. Yo, I'm glad you're here. One of our members has been attacked and gravely wounded. and I need you to go and help him. I suspect this is the work of more bounty hunters. It may even be a trap to lure more of us into the open. Nevertheless, we cannot ignore our comrade's plight. When he last contacted us by Link Pearl, he said he tried to seek shelter at the coffin. Take the potion and search for him there. Help me, I can't feel my... Thank you, sister. It all happened so fast, over by the tracks to the north. I don't know who attacked me, nor why they left me alive, but I dare say the answer is out there. Surely someone saw something. The fellow outside? I saw him stumbling and I left the bar to take a piss. Was alone as I recall. You say he's wounded. Thought he was just drunk. Suspicious characters. Well, now that you mention it, I did see a strange fellow wearing a garish purple robe. At first, I thought he was talking to himself, but then I realized he had a link pearl. I heard him say something about the wrong man and the silver bazaar. Does that help? Purple robe? That sounds familiar. It was him. I'd swear did you find anything else? Picked up this by the tracks, eh? Might well have belonged to the bastard. Can't say I've seen its like before. Might be as Wayman could tell you more. You know him, don't you? He's the bespectacled bloke who's always lounging around Emerald Avenue in the city. Of course, being the businessman that he is, he'll probably ask to be compensated in exchange. Show that ring to Rimon. He's sure to know something about it. This guy. I forgot to plug in my computer again. Hold on. Before everything dies. Well now, if it ain't Yo, everybody's favorite adventure. I hear you threw your lot in with the gladiators. A questionable decision, given the events of recent days, but to each his own. To what do I owe the pleasure? Oi, put that away before someone sees it. Where in the 7Ls did you get one of those rings? What, don't you recognize the sigil? God's damn's fool. Before you go stumbling around in the brush, you ought to at least know what kind of venomous bastards to be lurking with. And within. Been a long time since old Dod's seen a criminal organization rise from obscurity to notoriety as quick as the Karen. Word is they've got connections to the Brass Blades, the Syndicate, and God knows who else. But you didn't hear that from me. I want no part of whatever mess you and your mates have gotten yourselves into, understood? Oh, yo, I was wondering when you might return. What news do you bring of our injured comrade? The attackers may be headed for the Silver Bazaar. The Silver Bazaar? Then it must be the same gang of ruffians. My choices matter. One of our comrades returned from Stone Throw moments ago. A gang of bandits is said to be headed for the Silver Bazaar. They're after a man with an enormous bounty on his head. The people living there are in grave danger. In their frenzy to find their quarry, the bandits won't scruple to destroy property and will harm civilians. And the few glass parades stationed there will be powerless to stop them. We must stop them, yo. We'll protect the Silver Bazaar and avenge our injured guildmate, all in one fell swoop. A bit melodramatic if you ask me. Aldous, I told you never to come here again. I couldn't sit idly by while you charge into battle against an enemy you know nothing about, Mila. A responsible guildmaster would never risk the life over charges like this. Who are you to lecture me about responsibility? Mila, listen to me. This is the Alcran you're dealing with. Alacran. So, whatever the notoriety they may have achieved means nothing to me. We'll cut them down like the common bandits they are. It's not that simple. More importantly, it's not your fight. What are you saying? They want me, Mila. I've been fending off assassination attempts ever since I returned to Thanalin. Just stay here and let me handle this. It'll be over soon, I promise. Just stay here while you go off on your own? Is that it? It's been 7 years since I let you leave, Aldous. 7 years. You have any idea at all what you put me through? Mila. I don't want to hear it, you selfish bastard. Do you even care about the people who suffered because of you? Just get out. We don't need your help. We'll settle this ourselves. Mila, wait, there's something else you need to know. Enough, get out, get out. Alright, save some of that for the Alacran. But do try not to let Yo here come to harm while you're at it. Okay, sorry about that. There you are, yo. Everyone's already in position. Are you prepared? Easy enough. Rejoice, gladiators, for the day is ours. Hmm? What? But why would you be? Leave him to us, First Sword. No, stop. Such brittle blades, so easily broken. Perhaps the First Sword is made of stronger steel. Leave her, Xena. Our business here is over. She's cool. What have you done, Levold? First Sword, we must withdraw. The wounded need tending. Let us take them back to the guild. Give me a moment, yo. I need to think. I wanted to spare this, Mila. I begged you not to go. You knew, Aldous, that Leovold and I once fought side by side in the Colosseum. The twin swords of Nalthal, they called us. Never lost a match, honored by the bull of Allah Amigo himself. But that was when this and then. But that was then, and this is now. When I learned Leovold single-handedly transformed the Alarcran from a gang of common thieves into the most feared criminal organization in Thanalin, I knew I had to return. It seems like a lifetime ago that the three of us used to train together in this hall. The Levoid I knew would never stoop so low. He was a good man, strong and true. What would drive him to this? When I'll find him, I'll be sure to ask. Unfortunately, he seems determined to kill me for my curiosity. What aren't you telling me, Aldous? I'm not clever enough to keep street secrets, my dear. I'm a simple man, only capable of dealing with what's right in front of me. Is that so? I'll find him, Mila. I promise. Okay, that's gonna do it for this episode. I appreciate you watching, thank you, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.